Just touched down, back on road. Counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my strike a pose. Hop in mode, hop in mode. Touchdown, man, we back on road. Spending money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my strike a pose. Hop in mode, hop in mode.
Don't forget, set the bar, stick to the code.
Yo, this your boy Q Bar, and y'all already know I'm the host of the Barcode Podcast 414. Very special person today, man. One of my favorite shooters from 2005. Y'all can argue with me later. Hey, we about to really get into it. I'm gonna name some stats and numbers, and it's gonna blow y'all away, man. But he from Glendale, Wisconsin, man. This is one of my good friends. I call him my brother. Y'all got to show some love for Ryan Kroeger. Thank you, Ryan, for pulling up to the Barcode Podcast, bro.
Man, thank you for having me. I've been pumped. I've been listening to the Barcode Podcast since they started, so I'm pumped to finally be a part of this thing.
Yes. And before
we're all right.
You said what? Say it again, Ryan. I'm sorry.
We got the white person on here today, so my face is a little bright. That's all right.
No. Oh, move your head to the right ones, Ryan. Is that your jersey?
Yeah. You like that placement today? My wife.
Yeah, perfect, man. That's how I gotta get, man. I got the green screen going on. Mm-hmm. No, but before we get into the show, y'all know I gotta give my brother his flowers, man. Y'all all may know him from Swish AAU program. He went to Nicolay High School. He's class of 2005. He's an alumni there. He went to Lawrence University. He's an alumni there. He's a two-time Midwest Conference Player of the Year in 2008 and 9. And we can't forget this: Division III All-American and a Hall of Fame inductee, Ryan Kroeger. And y'all got to do your research, okay? Because I'm not going to spoil it, but when we get there, like, the numbers and the percentage is ridiculous. And I've been saying this for years, that Ryan is the best shooter in 05, and I'm sticking with it. All right. So, but before we get into the Ryan Kroeger journey, I got some trivia for you, bro. You know, I feel like you smart and know your shit, man. So here we go, man. First one. In what state is it legal to hunt unicorns?
I've never shot a gun in my life, like much less hunted for animals. Unicorns? I'm gonna go with the Canadians. They look a little crazy. Canada.
Michigan, down the street from us.
Oh, you said state or country? You said state?
Did I say state? I know I ain't say country. I think I said state. Okay. But all right. But it's okay. That's wrong. It's Michigan though. Oh. All right, next one, Ryan. On an average, what is the thing that Americans do 22 times a day?
On average, they do 22 times a day.
Ooh,
I thought you were going to say Wisconsin. I thought it was a drink, but 22 times a day.
Ooh.
I don't know. Use the bathroom.
Oh, shit. Damn, that's a lot of times to be using bathroom, Ryan, but open the refrigerator, bro. That's the answer.
Yep.
I'm probably at 19 already.
I was gonna say we quadruple that in our house with the boys, and they're going in and out of the fridge all the time.
Yeah. All right. Last one. Who is the first player drafted from the D League?
Was it one of our Milwaukee boys?
That's a hint. Okay, I give you that.
Taylor?
Mike Taylor, yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Let's get it. Okay, Rob. Hey, you got it, man. You did a good job, man. Thank you for participating in that, bro. For real. I mean that. And I want to get right into the show, man. I want to ask you about your upbringing, because a lot of people that I have on the show, you know, a lot of us are from the inner city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I know you from Glendale, Wisconsin, but I still want to know about your upbringing and who influenced you to play sports.
Yeah, I mean, Glendale looked different than it does now for sure when I grew up. I mean, it was predominantly a white neighborhood. There's some diversity in there for sure, but it's become a really awesome place. It's a super diverse place now. I'm not talking about just race, but like social, economic, religious. Like it's an awesome place to be. Like you get everybody. And it started to have that diversity when I was there, when I was growing up. But as far as like athletically, like everything I did basketball wise was because of my dad. I mean, my dad hooped. Never like played in high school or played in college, but when he was older, loved hooping. So like 3 times a week, we're in the gym. He's playing in leagues, and as young as I could walk, I was watching him in bleachers.
Yeah.
And so that's where everything got started. And then, in elementary school, and I did everything that I think a lot of the kids do. I tried to play baseball, I tried to play soccer, but I kept coming back to basketball. So once 5th grade started, I was in basketball 24/7. I was playing for the Nicolay team, and then I was jumping into AAU as soon as I could.
Yeah. And I know, what do they call that? Feeder program? Is that what you was in?
Feeder programs, yeah. Like Nicolay's still got one. It's like 5th grade through 8th grade, and it's feeds into to Nicolay.
Oh, okay. I can't wait till we get to Nicolay.
Tanner Bronson's dad started that at Nicolay. So that hadn't started until Tanner Bronson came through, and they needed a feeder program because that really wasn't a thing until a couple years before you and I actually were going to high school. So he started that program, and that's how it got started.
Wow.
Yep.
Dude, you learn something new every day. Wow. I've been hearing about feeder my whole life and didn't know. Like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. And I know yesterday when we was on the phone, you brought up that JR is like kind of a reason that you started playing basketball. Tell me about that.
Well, I played in 5th grade for the Nicolay team. I was good, but my dad was the coach, and I was looking to play AAU. Now, back then, Q-Bar, and everybody that probably listened to it, AAU was different than it is now. Everybody and their mama can play AAU now.
Yeah.
And you had to be actually a good basketball player to play AAU.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'll never forget this night. This is how it started. I was going to Bayshore, and my parents were split. My dad was a teacher, so we were middle class. Money wasn't always there, so we got one day a year that we got to buy shoes. And so we went to Foot Locker in Bayshore, and I'll never forget this. It was always a big day for me because I was always pumped. I was ready to go. Usually I got like the most basic Nikes or most basic Adidas that you could get because I knew they'd last me a year. So I was sitting in there, and so David Gruber and Steve Gruber walked in. And we knew David and Steve from playing against Whitefish Bay. Nicolay would play Whitefish Bay in 5th grade. And so my dad started chatting with David Gruber, and I was talking to Steve. And then Lewis Johnson walked in with his son. Mm-hmm. And so then Lewis Johnson started jumping in the conversation. He was trying to convince Gruber to start playing for Swish. And my dad, being the nosy dude he was like, hey, like, Gruber, tell him about my son. My son can play. And Lewis kind of rolled his eyes, was like, who the hell is this play? Like, in 5th, I was chunky. Like, I was big. Like, he just rolled his eyes, like, yeah, well, okay, if you want to come, to a tryout, here it is, right? And David Gruber was like, yeah, Steve's not playing for Swish. And so he gave my dad a note with the address of where we were going to have tryouts. And my dad always ran a program at Glen Hills every Friday night. So these tryouts were on Friday night. So he had to drop me off at the church in Milwaukee. And I don't know what church it was, but I'll never forget. He dropped me off. He said, here's your shoes. Good luck. Go in there. I was like, okay.
These the basic shoes, right?
My basic shoes. My basic Adidas.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm walking into the church, and I'm hearing like the sneakers. I'm hearing the basketballs. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I go down the stairs to where the gym was. And I know that it didn't happen like this, but it felt like the gym stopped. And I was like, oh, shit. And I walk in, and it doesn't take an idiot to know. Like, I was the only white dude in that gym. Like, here we are, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, I'm in 5th grade. Where do I go? And they're like, here, go down here. And JR's dad, Walt Blount, was our coach.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, all right, first drill up. And the first drill up was they did a shoot around. Like, they started at the block, went to the elbow, free throw line, opposite elbow, other block, right? And I wish I knew this guy's last name, but his name was Eric. He would play with us in 5th grade. Big dude.
Yeah.
Left block. And they said, you have to make a left-handed layup. and this poor kid couldn't make a left-handed layup. I kid you not, I went 5 for 5. I made the block, the elbow, the free throw, the block, and the opposite one before he could make the first one. And Jay said, "Oh, I think we got our white shooter."
Oh.
From there, that's how it started. And Jay and I started. We were out in Swish since the very beginning. With Queeth Chambers and a bunch of other guys that could really play. And that's how I got to know Jay. And Jay was the reason I started. I played at that level because he was, he was a competitor, man. He would compete, and that's how I learned. That's where I learned most of my stuff was playing with Jay.
Damn, dude, this is why I love podcasts, bro, for real. Because you hear like the untold stories, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And oh man, that's funny. That's a funny story. Dude said he missed the left hand layup, and I didn't just went around a circle. Oh wow. Wow.
In your life, right, that are changing. And I've mentioned this when I was at Lawrence. Like, without that night at Foot Locker, like I probably am just another dude playing basketball because I don't meet Jay, I don't meet Queese, I don't meet all these guys and start an AAU career. I just become another dude playing for Nicolay.
Wow, that's facts. Wow, and I remember that team, man. Was Elliot with y'all too, or not at the beginning? Yeah,
not at the beginning. He came maybe next year, 6th grade, 7th grade.
Okay, because that was a really good team. Like I remember, like when I don't know if we was in high school, but yeah, I remember like you, Wes Matthews, or he probably played a tournament with y'all.
Yeah,
right.
He came when we were FO, like Swish, then turned into FOH in high school.
That's what it was.
Wes came over for a couple of days.
Okay, cool. Now, you start off AAU, you get the confidence, right? Playing with all these African American kids in the inner city, right? Okay, but like I said, you from Glendale, Wisconsin, and you choose Nicolay. Now, did you choose Nicolay because it was in your area, or did you know the history before going there, like knowing that they were a good program?
It was probably both, right? Like I grew up in that district, so growing up, I watched. I was talking about the Bronsons before, but like my dad grew up watching Tanner's older sisters, who were amazing. They both played D1, so like every Friday night we go to the gym and watch them hoop. I grew up going to Nicolay's gym. Dominican, when I was in 8th grade, obviously because Jay was going to Dominican. Ben eventually went to Dominican. Everyone kind of was talking about Dominican, and I remember a couple of those coaches like asking me if there's a chance to go to Dominican, but that wasn't something that I was really looking forward to. I had really good friends. I had Mo, DJ, and then I met a bunch of good people at Nicolay that were just real close, and so it never really was a question where I was going.
Oh, okay. And I know that you're very close with like Shaw and RT and Mo and all them guys. They wasn't in the feeder program with you, were they?
Mo came with the feeder program with me. So 5th grade, first day of basketball, Mo was there with me. DJ moved into the district a little later, so he started playing like 6th and 7th grade. RT was in the feeder program from the beginning. And then Drew didn't move into the district till high school.
To high school, okay. And if y'all don't know, they are very, very tight. And listen, I appreciate you, Ron, pulling up. I got a bone to pick with Mo and DJ now because y'all know what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to get the Nicolay boys on there, and we still can. You know what I'm saying? So it's no doubt about it. Now, when you got to Nicolay, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Joel Tucker in Grunfield like a senior?
Yeah, so Joe graduated the year before I got there. Dan Grunfield was a senior.
He was a senior.
Yeah, he was a senior my freshman year. And Tanner and they went through some, it started back with like Bill and Bob Jenkins. I don't know if you remember like the play at Valparaiso where the guy makes a jump pass to Drew who makes that 3 at the buzzer, but that was Bob Jenkins from he played at Nicolay.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to YouTube that. It's on YouTube or no?
It's like one of those famous plays. They do a full court pass and then midair catches it and turns and passes, and Drew, I forget his name, coach of Baylor, Drew, catches it and shoots the 3-pointer at the buzzer. You'll see it. If you YouTube.
I'm YouTubing. Yeah, I'm YouTubing that for sure. Yeah. So did you get a chance becoming did y'all get a chance to play varsity, or like how did it go for you going into Nicolay for basketball?
Oh, I was salty. So my freshman year, DJ was the only one in our class that moved up to. He played JV. They didn't move any freshmen up to varsity at that time. I mean, I'm sure they would have, but like they didn't move any of us up. So Mo and I and a bunch of guys we played in the feeder program played freshman ball together, and then sophomore year they moved Mo and GJ and I up to varsity.
So freshman year, hold on, did I hear this correctly? Freshman year, you said y'all played freshman?
Yep, we were undefeated and we kicked everyone's ass.
Wow, did the coach did the coach know y'all before coming in there? Like, did he know?
Yep. Yeah, I mean there was good ball players throughout Nicolay. I mean, I'm not going to say that I should have been on like varsity. I definitely probably shouldn't have been as a freshman, but there was good players all throughout Nicolay, and I don't know, just didn't make it for some reason.
Yeah. Oh wow. Well, see, look, I told you learn something new every day. And speaking of your friends, man, of course, I'm cool with RT, Mo, DJ, Shaw.
Yeah.
All of y'all are very, very tight, man.
Yeah.
Like, can you tell us about how y'all relationship is?
Yeah, I grew up with Mo in fifth grade. I knew Mo at fifth grade, but he wasn't at my middle school at all. DJ then moved into my middle school when he was a sixth grader. And if you could ever get DJ to talk about his story, it's a funny story and a story that would be popular. But he was a bad kid, man. He used to get in trouble all the time. And he
DJ looked like a bad kid, man. Back in high school, he looked like he was so mean and grumpy, man.
So mean. I mean, he would do things just to get sent to the office, just to piss people off. And when you got sent to the office at Glen Hills, you got sent to my dad. So like then my dad was like, all right, kid, like you got if you're gonna keep getting in trouble, you gotta start playing basketball. And so then DJ and I became really close in middle school. Pretty inseparable. And RT was always a grade lower than us, so we always knew RT pretty close. And then when Drew moved into our high school sophomore year, he just jived with us right away. Like he was easy to get along. It was Drew, DJ, and myself in class all the time, and we just kicked it. And when you develop that type of friendship, you just don't lose it. So 5 of us are close and always have been.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm just thinking of like Shaw so laid back, Mo silly, RT is a mixture of everything. DJ Marsh looked like DJ Marsh remind me of me where I was silly as fuck. I was silly and did silly shit in high school, bro.
Yep.
Oh man. And speaking of DJ Marsh, man, I want to get into it, man. We got a chance to play you guys in the playoffs junior year, right?
Mm-hmm.
If y'all don't know, Nicolay has a really, really good team, bro. Really, really good team. And then they match up against us at Vincent in the playoffs. Dog fight. Y'all fall short, Ron. First of all, and don't be biased, Ron. Do you feel like y'all were the better team?
This is gonna sound crazy, but I thought we were the better team my senior year. I thought we were pretty evenly matched our junior year. I still think we should have won that game junior year. But
Ron, if I don't dive on the floor and call that timeout.
No. That play was a weird play. I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of those plays, Q-Bar, that like if you define who you are as a player, like that junkyard, you like do everything possible to win a game, like that is you, man. That's what happened to us. Like I think DJ had a little hit, like a brain fart, rolled the ball. Jarrell went to pick it up with his legs apart, and you just dove right on that shit, and it game over.
Yeah. Oh man. And I just remember me and Willathon like going back and forth at half court because, like I said, we were going back and forth, Rod. Yep. And like y'all kept rolling the ball in. And like Mo was rolling it so fucking slow. I'm like, Will, if you don't go steal this shit, man. But he so worried about fucking Diener. I'm like, dude, I'm like, you know what? All right.
Yeah.
I timed that shit. I think, dude, who the point guard you said?
Jarrell West. Yep.
Jarrell West. Yep. That was a light-skinned guy. And it's so crazy how I used to think back then, Ron, because when y'all wrote it in like 3 times in a row, I noticed that he kept turning his head and saying something to Mo. And I'm like, I'm gonna time that shit. And I timed it, dog. But I went into that game though, Ryan, because I can't remember, it's a long time ago, but I felt like DJ Mark said something about us in the papers, along the lines of Vincent haven't played anybody, and I took it very personal. So
You act like you don't remember. We talk about this every time we pull up. I know you remember that. You probably got the paperclip still in your house.
but when we was all talking, what DJ say? Like, Q-Bar, I didn't say that, y'all. I'm like, you sure? Dina brought me the newspaper every day to practice to motivate me and turn me up.
I remember when he said that. I remember the newspaper clip when we were sitting in our lockers, and I was like, DJ, what the fuck did you just say to that newspaper article? He was like, man, that's how I feel. I was like, all right, cool, let's go.
Hey, cool, man. And other than, of course, I'm gonna get back to our senior year, but other than playing us, what other teams in y'all conference or non-conference game that was like a tough game for y'all?
Well, in conference, Whitefish Bay was always good. I mean, they had Kroeger and all those, and V and all those dudes. Milwaukee Lutheran had Alex Davis and Trav Handy. Those two were a handful always. And those were like really us three. Cedarburg was good for a while too in there. They had some solid players, but like Alex Davis gave us fits every freaking time, dude. When you talk about underrated players, like that dude is underrated.
Very talented. Like, I heard he kicked Elliott ass when they played Mesmer.
I'm sure
Elliott will be pissed when he watched this.
Some dunks I will never forget.
Oh my God, man. Y'all had such a good team, man. How would you say, 'cause I know when you said when you went into Nicolay that you played freshman, that didn't kind of put like no damper on you and the coach relationship when you made it to varsity, did it?
No, but like if I'm defined, like when I think about the entirety of my playing basketball, like I've always been that dude, right? Like I've always been, a guy that's probably, you look at him and you're probably like, yeah, he's nothing, right? Like he's one dimensional. He's probably could shoot and that's about it, right? And like, so I feel like it's always been, when people look at me or my basketball game is always, especially when I was younger, was always like, I was never given the benefit of the doubt. So it was nothing new to me, whether it was a coach or a player or anybody. And so, it just motivated me a little bit. And, I knew I could play. And honestly, when I was in freshman, all I really cared about was AAU at that time. Like that's all I wanted to do. I love playing AAU ball. Like those are my dudes. That's where I had most fun. It changed when I got into like varsity, but when I was in freshman, that's all I cared about.
Yeah, exactly. Now, any point during high school, did it click to you like, damn, I'm the best fucking shooter in the state of Wisconsin?
I don't know if I looked at the state of Wisconsin, but I never walked into a gym and thought I wasn't the best shooter.
I like that.
I'll say that. Even, except for I'll tell you this. Except for lately, now I'm 36. I walked into the gym with Con Knippel's son, K2. Have you seen him?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, beast! What the?
Now that he can play. He's going to be a problem.
Yes.
First time I was going to shoot, and I was like, man, if I shot against this dude, he's going to wipe the floor with me. Like,
you sure? Okay, Ryan, you sure? Ryan, you can shoot, bro.
I mean, if you gave me like 3 weeks of pure shooting in the gym, I'll compete.
What you talking about? 36,
right? I'm talking about
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We talking about K2, your age, and then you know what I'm saying. When you was at Nicolay, him at Wisconsin Lutheran, that's a good argument, man. He can shoot now. Don't get it twisted, but
he can do a lot of.
Ryan, you can post up too. You can drive. You make plays.
That's right.
Okay, Ryan, you being humble right now. You being humble.
Yeah, you learn to diversify your game a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now let's go back to senior year, Ryan. Now I tore my ACL, so I'm on the bench watching everything, and I forgot where the fuck we was playing at, but dude, I never sat on my senior year, I never was on the bench thinking like, okay, we gonna lose. That was the first time it crossed my head like, whoa, I know damn well we ain't about to lose. And then I want to say RT got dunked on by Brandon Allen and changed the whole dynamic. But I do want to highlight, like, I remember you like lighting our ass the fuck up, man. And with y'all losing to us junior year, can you remember how you approached that game, or you can't even, or
Yeah, I mean, for me, my junior year in high school year, like me playing on the team, my roles were really different. Like we had Jarrell and Jared and DJ; those were our main scorers my junior year. And then senior year, DJ was still on the squad for before he got hurt. He was our go-to option. But then when he broke his foot, things changed. Then it was Mo and I, and that's like the point of my career where I think things changed for me a little bit, where I realized like I could start doing things that not just shoot 3-pointers, right? Like, but I could start playing the game a little bit better. And so the mentality changed when I never liked Vincent. That's for damn sure. Like I didn't like him in junior year. I didn't like him senior year. Like, and I think you and I both knew every year we were going to see each other to go to state. Like it was no joke. Like I know we were ranked number 1 in state for a while. Then we lost, and you were ranked number 1. It was just going to happen. It was destiny. But like I told you earlier, like I walked into that game and there was no doubt in my mind we were going to win. Like you were hurt, and I always said, if Q Bar's hurt, DJ's hurt, whatever, we'll be all right. Like we had Mo. We were just playing really well too. Like we hadn't lost in a long time.
yeah.
Maybe it was false confidence, but I was like, man, we're not losing this game.
Yeah. Even with knowing that Elliot Johnson transferred, to Morgan.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know it was, Rod. And the crazy thing about it, man, like I'm so realistic, bro. Like how y'all was together on that team, right? So close. I'm not saying that y'all was perfect or, probably didn't bump heads or nothing, but how y'all were like together, I wanted that for Vincent. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like if we had that, I think we would have had a real good chance of winning upstate. But we had so many people on different pages and stuff. And, the guys on the Nicolay team knew their roles. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you about that, man, because people always ask me about, when I lose and shit. And I'm like, oh, shit, I got to talk about some shit that happened. What the fuck ever.
Yep.
Yeah. And speaking of DJ again, when y'all lost him, though, like, because he broke his foot, 2-3 years in a row or something crazy like that?
Yeah, I think he broke it, 2 or 3 years in a row. Same foot, same spot.
Wow. Yeah, he don't break his foot, man. He easily Division 1.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was getting offers from Marquette. He was getting offers from everywhere, junior year, sophomore year, and then broke his foot twice and they were all gone. Just like that.
Yeah. Now, I think you played wonderful, junior, senior year. And what all offers did you have? Did you have any offers? Because you did choose the Division 3 route. But did you have any offers at like Division 2 schools, mid-major, D1 or something?
So I never got an official offer. When playing with, when I was playing with FOH, I was starting on a team that was like, we won Kentucky Hoop Fest. Like that was a squad. Like we had plenty of guys. Like you talk about talent. Like I always say, Jay should have been Mr. Basketball. I know he wasn't, and I'm biased, but Jay should have been Mr. Basketball. Elliot was the most talented basketball player in the state our year. No doubt about that in my mind. Like he was too talented.
Oh, man.
Then you had Ben. Tony Aker played with us for a while. You had DJ. You had Mo. You had a million guys on that team that could really hoop. And, I was, talent-wise, probably the 7th or 8th best player on that team. But I started on a team that won a bunch of games in AAU. And so I always thought to myself, I was like, man, I should get a D2 scholarship, right? At least. And it never came. Lewis University came to watch us play a few times, talked to me for a long time. I thought they were going to offer me, and the last second they didn't. And then D3, like I never thought about D3. Like I don't know about you, Q, but like when you're in Milwaukee, like I never heard of Platteville. I never heard of Lawrence. I never heard of these places.
Yeah, I know.
Like our bubble was small. Like I knew Capital, right? Like I knew North. So
go ahead. I'm sorry, Rod. Go ahead.
Yeah, when Lawrence called and some of these other D3 schools called, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I flew out to not flew. I drove out to Platteville. I drove to places in Illinois, all over the place. And then I got official offer in D2 when I was in college, but that was when my coach left, and I couldn't go with him, so I stayed there.
Oh wow, what Division II was it?
Holy crap, I'm going to draw a blank. It's in Michigan. But my coach, John Tharp, my sophomore year left, and then moved to that D2 school. And when he left, he offered me a scholarship, and I did a visit and everything, but it didn't feel right leaving my guys at Lawrence, and I couldn't leave, and I just never did.
Yeah, I respect that. And I know when we're younger, Ra, we choose schools because of like what we can do. Like, can we showcase our talent?
Right.
Picking Lawrence, did you feel like, okay, I'll be able to play, Ryan Kroeger game, or did you do both? I'm just trying to go back when we was younger. You know what I'm saying? Did you choose for education or, basketball?
No, I chose because my mom really liked that school. It was a liberal arts school. It was something that my mom really liked. I couldn't care less where I went to. Like, I didn't know what I was studying. I didn't care anything. But I went there and hooped with the guys. And if my guys end up watching this, they're going to hate me for this. But I ended up hooping there my senior year. I drove up there with DJ and Drew a couple of times, and they would let us hoop in their open gyms in the spring. So this is like season, like April, May. And dude, we would bust ass up there. Like we were playing well together. And I'm not gonna lie, when I walked on Lawrence's campus, I thought I got gypped. Like, I thought, like, you're making me play D3, right? Then you start playing against some dudes, and you're like, okay, these dudes can actually play, right?
Can play.
But in your mind, I'm not gonna lie, I thought to myself, I shouldn't be playing D3. I should be playing D2, right? Like, and so I was pissed. But then you start playing D3 guys, and you realize that there's a lot of dudes out in the world that can hoop.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you brought that up because, of course, when I bounced back from my ACL and I go to a Division II, and I was very grateful. Don't get it twisted. A lot of competition in there, but young from Milwaukee, I want to play D1.
Oh, yeah.
We played Minnesota. I said, oh, shit. I think I'm a Division II player, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Here I am thinking I'm athletic, going up 7-footer. I'm like, whoa, okay, Division II, it is. Yeah. And speaking of competition, I know y'all played against teams like Lacrosse, Stevens Point, Whitewater. Was Ripon an easy game? I know DeAndre went there. That was an easy one.
Yeah, the Ripon wasn't easy, but all those UW schools were in their own separate league, and our league was smaller. It was probably like Carroll, St. Norbert's, Ripon, Lake Forest, those schools. But we would play UW schools, like 3 or 4 of them a year.
Oh, see, I don't know this, Rod. See, okay, that makes a lot of sense. University of Wisconsin, Whitewater, and okay, got you. Okay. So when you play, did y'all get a chance to play any of them teams?
Yeah, we played Oshkosh every year. We played Stevens Point every year. I don't know if we played any other UW schools, but we played them every year. Oshkosh we split with every year. I won 2, lost 2. Stevens Point, I think I lost 3 of them and won 1 of those.
Yeah.
Those teams could play. I mean, both Oshkosh and Stevens Point at that time could play. That was Khalif. That was Khalif.
Yeah, Khalif was over at Stevens. Now, DJ Marsh was at Oshkosh, right?
Yeah, he was an All-American at Oshkosh. He got hurt his freshman year, so he never played. So he actually, his 4 years, there was 1 year where he and I didn't play together because he redshirted his freshman year.
Oh, okay. But y'all did get a chance to play against each other, though, right?
Oh yeah, every year.
How was that? How was that for you, bro? Playing against one of your good friends, bro.
It was a blast. I loved it. I don't know if he loved it, but I loved it. I love talking shit because none of the guys at Lawrence talk shit. None of the guys in our conference talk shit. Finally, I got to go back and play and talk shit a little bit. So I love talking shit against DJ. DJ's so quiet. He doesn't say anything, right? Like, no matter who he's playing with, he won't say anything. He might whisper something here or there, but like, even if you piss him off, he won't say nothing. So, I knew how to play DJ a little bit, but he's still got his. He's unguardable at certain points.
Oh man, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah. Now, what did you tell your teammate that was a guard? I'm like, all right, now, man, listen, I know his moves. He gonna pound and pound, and then turn real quick. He gonna face you up. Did you give your roommate, that well, not your roommate, but your teammate? Did you give him some gems, man, to guarding your good friend, or no?
I mean, each time we played, we started somebody else on him. And at halftime, each time I told my coach, if you don't fucking put me on DJ, I'm leaving. And I switched on to DJ both times in the afternoon, in the second half. Being smaller in this one game, I was able to defend him well, but I took like 2 or 3 charges against him because he would back me down, right? And I would flop on the ground and get in his head and take charges. He was, about to foul out the game. And then another game, he just, he did what he does and probably scored 20 in the second half.
Yeah, but being at D3 though, Rod, like you made one. Well, I feel like you already made a name for yourself, back at home. But Division 3 level, you made a name for yourself, man. I had to write this shit down, okay? Because you did some shit. Yeah, but you was a 2-time All-American at Lawrence University, y'all. A 2-time Conference Player of the Year, 3-time All-Conference selection, 3-time Conference Championship. You got 3-time Conference Championship, bro.
Yep.
That's good stuff. Yep. And then y'all was ranked number 1 in the nation, Division 3.
Yeah, my freshman year, we were undefeated the entire year. We were number 1 in the nation.
Wow. And I forgot, how many games do y'all play Division 3? Is it still around like 20 something, 30?
I think it increased now, but like when we were playing, I think our like final record my freshman year was like 23-1, so it was like 24. Regular season's like between 20 and 22. Every conference is different though in D3. It's different that way.
Yeah, yeah. And when y'all was number 1 in the nation, Rod, how did that make you feel being a part of, a winning program?
Yeah, so like when I walked on that campus, right, I had a certain attitude. It quickly changed. We had a guy named Chris Breyer who was the national D3 Player of the Year. He went to Tosa East, so he played with Al and Devin, right? So his upbringing of going to Lawrence was similar to mine, right? Like just out of Milwaukee, playing with some really good people in high school, kind of went underrated, under the radar in AAU in high school, and then he went to Lawrence where he dominated, and he was a national D3 Player of the Year. I think he's still the leading scorer at Lawrence, leading rebounder at Lawrence. So when my freshman year, he was on the squad, and that's who led us that freshman year. And I came off the bench that year, but I think I was either the second or third leading scorer that year. But we had some guys that could really hoop, and that team was damn good. And we lost to Illinois Wesleyan, who had like 3 or 4 D1 transfers from the year before.
What the
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Wow. But you still and I still got more written down too. Like you finished with, is this accurate? Hopefully it is, because what did it say? 1,500? Yeah, 1,537. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Or you on? Okay, I was about to say, Ryan, you better know this, man, because I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so you finished with that, man, and this is why I call you the best shooter, man. You shot 45.2% from the 3-point line, bro. From the 3-point. And I know one year, I can't remember what year it was, but you shot 51% from the 3.
Yeah.
Rob, what we talking about, man? What you talking about? You ain't the best shooter in 2005. So what you trying to say? Q-Bar don't know what he talking about?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'll get on Facebook with you.
Yeah. But overall, just like, being inducted, and congratulations too, Rob. I remember, around that time you got, inducted to the Hall of Fame, but all them accolades and awards that I just read off, like, how did that make you feel? Because going into college, you was like, I don't supposed to be playing D3, and then you accomplish all these things. Like, how that make you feel?
Yeah. I love those accolades are really cool, right? But the stat, and this is gonna sound corny as hell, but it's true. Like the stat that counts is winning, right? And I love to win, and that's what I was kind of starting this podcast with, talking about Jay. Like, Jay did whatever it took in the game, If you needed to score, he'd score. If he had to guard the best player, he'd guard the best player. And I saw that in 5th grade, and that just became who I was. Like, even at Nicolet, I didn't care about anything except for winning. It just happened to be at Lawrence. Like, I was our best offensive player on a team that was winning a ton of games, right? You don't become an All-American or Player of the Year if your team sucks. Like, that's just a fact, right? Like, MVPs in the league, right? They usually don't come from the team that won 15 to 25 games, right? They're usually the best player.
Mm-hmm.
And so, my team at Lawrence is a lot like that team at Nicolet you were talking about. We were close, man. We were real close. We ran really good offense. They ran an offense that was, good for a player like me that could run off screens, right, and adjust and attack off those screens and make things happen. And so accolades are cool, but like we won a lot of games at Lawrence, which is way better.
Yeah, for sure. See, winner mindset right there, right? I like that, man. Yeah, no, listen, and I love to just pause the story sometimes. And no, Rod, I love you, bro. Like, I appreciate you, bro. Like, matter of fact, if you got some film, bro, like send it to me. Like, I would sit down and watch your game at Lawrence, Nicolet High School, whatever film you got, man. Come on, bro. I know we OGs now, but I don't want no VHS, man. Send me, DVD or something, man.
You know what we gotta do? We gotta get together when you're in Milwaukee. Let's put in the junior year Vincent Nicolet game and the senior year Nicolet Vincent. Have a couple beers and watch that.
Wow, you got that? You got them games?
I think my old coach might have them. I think I can get them.
Come on, bro. I'm holding you to that, man. Especially, I want to see both. I was gonna say junior year, but if you can, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that for real. Yeah, I'll probably be drinking tequila though, Ryan. I don't drink beer, but I drink tequila.
The senior year game, you won't be able to see straight anyways. We'll be all right.
I remember being on the bench like, dude, hold on, man. Y'all gotta fucking stop Ryan. This dude is kicking our ass, posting up, driving, stopping, popping the 15-footer, coming off screens. I'm like, dude, hold on, what the fuck is Ryan on, man? Come on, man. Damn it, man. Yeah. No. But once you got done at Lawrence, did you have thoughts of like, I can play overseas or, whatever? Like, did you give that a thought once you graduated?
Yeah, and that's different too than when we were in college. But the guy that I talked about, Chris Breyer, who was the player of the year, national player of the year, he was playing overseas in Luxembourg. And my junior year, I got to study abroad in London, and I actually went to go see him play. And so then when I graduated, he hooked me up with his agent. And so I sent him film, did everything you're supposed to do. He got me an offer in Germany. But at that time, it was like the 5th league in Germany. He was like, it was weird. He wasn't like guaranteeing much money, but he's like, I'll get you a car and I'll get you a place to stay, right? And you could hoop. And at the time, I was like, cool, right? Like, I don't need money to play basketball, but I'm down. But being away from home when I was studying abroad was difficult for me. It wasn't something that was easy to be away from home. So I was nervous about that anyways. And honestly, when it came down to it, just to like make the commitment and sign the contract, I just couldn't do it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay home. And it's one of those things like, as a 36-year-old, I definitely regret, right? And every time I meet a young hooper out of college, I'm like, man, don't do what I did, right? Like, don't be afraid to challenge yourself and get uncomfortable and do something that's different. Because I just, I did what was comfortable and I stayed back. And that's okay, right? Things happen the way they do, but I regret that for sure.
Wow. Thank you for sharing this, Ryan. For real. I really do, because man, it's tough. Especially like the situation I went through, basketball was everything for me. And when it stopped, I didn't have a plan B or nothing. And then when I got older, I'm looking back like of course I'm happy with my life now, but back when I was going through hardship and, maybe depression, I think it was, what I'm saying? It was depression. Matter of fact, I wasn't talking to no one and I didn't want to play basketball no more. And it was just like, damn, bro, I could have pushed through that shit and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So damn, I don't like to hear regret, but man, thank you for sharing that, man. And even though you like put going professional in your rear view mirror, you still had the Glen Hills Open Gym Open runs, one of the best. And I'm gonna ask you this all gate, Ron.
That's right.
Because listen, we talking about, hold on, man. Listen, y'all better pay attention. We talking about handoffs, flare screens, pin downs, competing on defense. Everybody can shoot in the gym except for Q-Bar. It's just a 15-footer, okay? But everybody at tip-top shape, physical game. So you didn't put basketball completely 100% away because you threw some nice basketball runs, for, college athletes or, first year pros or whatever the case may be. But the first thing I'm gonna ask you, Rob, do you feel like you orchestrated the best open runs?
At that time, no doubt. Like when we got 12 dudes in the gym, like minus professional athletes and D1 college basketball players, we might have had 12 of like the top 20 hoopers in Wisconsin in one gym. Like we had hoopers, and it wasn't just like hoopers that were being friendly. Like Javon would get after it, like T Handy would get, like we'd be almost fist fighting in that gym nonstop, right? Like things get in that gym. Man, you're right. When we were playing, I think we even were running that during summer of like when we were in college, weren't we? Like, man, those games would get competitive.
Yes. I remember Ricky Franklin coming, Mike Taylor, a young AZ. Oh my God, Khalif. Oh my God, dog. Mo. Oh my God, dude. I remember the one.
Elliott would come back. Jay would come back in the summer. I mean, those games were ridiculous.
And man, this the toughest part, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, Ron. This is the toughest part of me doing a podcast, and everybody been on my ass. But when I sat down and evaluated with myself, it's like I have to ask this because I may be doing you a favor. I may be doing someone else a favor. A lot of people don't like to talk about, a lot of things, and God is my witness. When I was writing my keynotes down, I had to stop, and tears came down my eyes. You losing your father.
Yep.
Great man. 1 second, Rob. Great man. And I just remember coming to Glen Hills, me and you, the first guy in the gym and the dog, and just having them conversations, man. And
yeah, it's not easy losing good people, man. I appreciate you, Kubler, because it's a reminder always, right, of the person you want to be when you grow up, right? To have an impact on people the way he had impact on people, is the dream, right? Like he's been gone 5 years, almost 5.5 years now, and there's not a day that goes by that like either myself or I meet somebody that's been positively impacted by that dude, and it's a goal, right, for all of us to reach, is to have that type of positive impact on people. So
my apologies, Rob.
Good.
So the question I want to ask you is, did that take you down a dark path?
Oh yeah. That time in my life was tough. So I had, I had just gotten a new job. I was a special ed teacher for a long time. I had just gotten a new job as a dean of students in an elementary school, and it was my first day of my new job. And my brother calls me and he goes, "Hey, something's wrong with Dad." And so I go there, right, and went through all this shit. Found out he had brain cancer. That was in like the middle to end of August. I just started this new job, and by January he was gone. It was quick. It was, I had my dad in August and he was gone in January. And after that, I had just gotten married, and I had my wife was due, and my firstborn Cameron was born 2 weeks after my dad passed away. And so that was no doubt the hardest time in my life, because my dad was not much my dad. He was my best friend. And then I had a new kid, and I was a new dad, and I wasn't there for Cam. Like I don't mind sharing this because it's real. Like I wasn't there for Cameron the way a dad should be there for his newborn son. that's heartbreaking for me, right? But like I wasn't there. I was a shadow of myself. I would go for walks for hours and cry and be angry, right? And then come back being angry. And I had a wife that just gave birth to a child,
Yeah.
I had a newborn kid in my crib. Like, nobody should have that for a dad. And I was that way for not for a long time, but it felt like a long time in my eyes.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was tough to be that person for a while.
Yeah, yeah, man. And like I said, right, I apologize. It's just like you said, when you lose somebody so that you just know just a like just good energy, good spirit, good vibes. And obviously I do a podcast and I talk about y'all history and stuff. I don't forget about nothing. And I just remember just being amazed, like stretching out, and your dad remember Vincent games. And I'm like, oh, and he remember my game. And I'm like, and it's just so much like it. And Brian, everybody know that I do not like dogs, but I will play like I'm rubbing y'all dog. Hey, come here. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for sharing that, man. And it's tough, Rob. Like I said, God is my witness. I wrote this, put my phone down, just all the memories, coming in the head, and how he just used to watch us play. Just good spirit, man. Just man.
That was the highlight too for him, man. He, even when he was, on the bed, when things were coming to an end, his brain at that time, like he wasn't remembering anything, right? Like there was
Yeah.
things that like he just didn't remember. Like he was talking about things that were happening like 50 years ago, thinking they're happening now. But then when I would get him back for small moments of time, it was basketball, man. Like we chop it up about basketball, right? He talked about Glen Hills, right? He talked about, he'd ask like, oh, you have an open gym today? I'm like, no, Dad, no open gym today, man. But like those were highlights for him, man. He loved watching us hoop. And he if you watch like when Javon and you and Travis or anybody would get into a fight, man, if you looked over at him, he'd be smiling his ass off. He think that shit was so funny. He loved that. And it was a highlight for him to run those open gyms and be a part of them for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I want to ask you this, did you talk to like a therapist or go see help, or did you just leave it in God's hands and he healed you? How did that go for you? Or how did you handle that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, for a long time, and it may be just being a guy, right? Like you're like, no, I'll deal with it myself, right? Like it's just my own shit. I'll deal with it. I'm not letting anyone else bother by it. And then, people always say like, oh, it must have been so hard having your firstborn son born so close to when your dad was passed. And it was for a while, but I've said this to everybody that I've talked to, like Cameron, like my firstborn son saved me. Like I couldn't imagine going through what I was going through without him. And obviously my wife, it was huge in that process too. But like when you have a newborn like that and you get a son, he saved me there. But that didn't like stop. Like I still pushed everything down, right? Like I never mourned. I never, I did things on my own, but like I never fully went through that process the way I needed to. And until I had this like very first like panic attack when I was a dean of students. It was the first one I've ever experienced. And one that I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was either having a stroke or a heart attack. I couldn't breathe. It felt like somebody was sitting on my chest. And luckily I ran into a first grade teacher who was a really good friend of mine who did mindfulness, and she like brought me back and got me into a calm state again. And that was the moment I realized like, yeah, man, you're not okay. like
Yeah.
but you're not okay.
Yeah.
And I do have a therapist now that I go to. And I'm not afraid to talk about that. And I'm in education. I'm an associate principal. It's important to talk about, man, because if we live in a society where you can't talk about how you feel and you're worried about how people judge you, it's going to be a long, hard road.
Yeah, for sure, man. Wow. I heard one of my good friends, he said he had a panic attack before. So I don't know. Do you know how panic attacks happen? Like, are you just like under a lot of stress, or you thinking about a million things at once? Like, do you like know the cause of a panic attack or not?
Yeah, I mean, they happen for all different types of reasons, depending on who you are. To be honest, when I was having it, I didn't even I didn't feel stressed in that moment. and I didn't really know the cause of it until I talked to a therapist, right? And then I went through that process, and it was just like a built up of stress, I think, and emotion in my body. Um, and I was, I was doing a test with some students, and all of a sudden, like, I felt paralyzed, right? And it was just like I couldn't move. And I worked my way back up to the office, but like, yeah, I think for me it was just like a built up of like not letting myself be emotional for 3 years when I should have been, right? And it just kind of it all fell into one moment in time, and then it got me. And it's an eye opener because like you, I never had one before, right? And people say, "Oh, I had a panic attack," and you kind of like brush it off. You're like, "Oh, that sucks. Maybe I don't know."
Yeah.
But man, it does. It messes with you, and it messes with you for a long time.
Okay, good, man. And how like your mom and your little brother. This is you and your little brother, right, Rod?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, yeah, and they all been good and everything.
Yeah, my mom lives right down the road from me now, and so she gets to help out with the kid a bunch. Just like everything with tragedy comes some sunlight and some sunshine, right? And when my dad passed, it gave my brother and I an opportunity to start a business together. So we run a business called Cream City Executive Stays right now, which is like a short-term leasing thing. So we do that together. It gives us an opportunity to do something together. Experience the highs and lows of running a business, as you know, right? Like
Yeah.
feeling
Oh
fun,
Lord, yes.
depressed the next. So with that tragedy, it let my brother and I kind of form, a business relationship together and get even closer.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, little bro, cool, man. I remember him coming to the gym too, man. And of course, I'm gonna talk about family, man, because you married, you have kids, man. How the marriage life been for you, man?
Man, marriage is great, man. I got no complaints. Um, you know, I've had a lot of lucky things happen in my life from being at Foot Locker, right, on a fifth grade night, getting my shoes, to picking Lawrence as a
Yeah.
college, to meeting Grace. I've gotten lucky in my life a lot, and she's another example of that. And we got two kids that keep us on our toes, and two little boys that maybe one day will play hoops, maybe not, who knows. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, life as a dad, life goes quick, man. It's flying by.
Oh, man, tell me about it, man. I remember little Quincy when he was in his mama's stomach, and now
Mhm.
he 15. And I remember when we were in high school. And Rob, we can't forget about this. Come on, man. We gotta talk our stuff, man. When we played in the Tulsa East, man, how many championships we got, man? Me, you, Bach, Mo, Leaf, Miles. Man, how
I
many
mean,
did we win though? Like,
you guys probably won like five or six. I think I played with you for 2 or 3 of those years.
oh well, shit, that count, man. Oh shit, but
And that
hell
was
yeah, man.
unfair to you. That was unfair to you.
It was so fun, like
Yeah.
playing basketball with y'all. Oh my god, I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of shooters. Oh Lord Jesus,
5 dudes that
easy
knew how to
peasy.
hoop, man. Yeah, 5 dudes that
Yeah,
knew how to.
yeah, yeah. Oh my god, man. That I appreciate you, Ron, for sharing your journey, bro. Touching on things. You know, hopefully I don't know. I didn't miss anything, did I, Ron? Because that's everything that I want to know. But
If it's everything you want to know, then you got it all, man. Yeah,
oh,
that was the basketball journey of one Ryan Kroeger.
yeah, for sure, man. And anybody listening to this, right? This story, right? Ron is, doing really, really good right now in life, and he's happy with his life. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all about going to Division 1, Division 2, or wherever. You can make something out of a career playing Division 3, too. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a big part of the first of all, I wanted my brother on the podcast, right? You know, and then two, I know that you play Division 3, and I don't want these kids just settling, having a mindset that a lot of us in our era had, where we just like D1, 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 and then if that don't happen, it's just kind of like a lot of kids give up.
Right.
So thank you for sharing your story for real, Rye. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully this inspire, young college athlete or these young kids, and You sharing your journey is allowing these kids to, oh, it's okay to go Division 3. He's a dean of students. He have a college degree too. Oh, he have a business. It's okay. So I appreciate that. And the last thing I'm gonna ask you too, Rye, what advice do you have for anyone that's going through a very difficult time in life?
That's a good question, Q Bar. You and I probably should have connected a long time ago about this. Honestly, it's being honest with yourself, right? I think is the hardest thing, right? And like understanding, um, your perceived flaws, right? Like everyone's got them. You pretend maybe they're not there, or like whatever that might be, but like you just got to be honest with yourself, and know yourself, and know when you're struggling, be okay with it. But um, another thing that I said that I'm blessed with is I'm blessed with amazing people in my life, man. I really am. Like, there's probably 50, 60 people in my phone that if I was having a bad night that I could call, man, you included, Q-Bar. Like there's no doubt, right? Like I could call you up and be like, dude, I'm struggling, right? Like it's a hard time right now. So find those people, man. Find those people and lean on them. I don't think people need to be worried about how they feel. Or worried about going through depression, or worried about going through anything that's mental health wise. I see it in kids all the time, Q-Bar, man. It's breaking my heart, to be honest with you. Like the world our kids are growing up in, and the amount of mental health that our kids have. And I'm going to highlight it because it's real and it's a fact, right? But like our black boys right now in America are going through a different fucking stage in life, and we have to note it. We can't just swipe it under the rug, man. Like it's a real thing that's happening. COVID just highlighted it. It didn't create it. It just highlighted it, man. It's just like we want to say COVID did this, COVID did that. What we've done to our young black boys in America has not just started 3 years ago. It's happened for a long, long time. And to think that COVID just caused this emotional damage is nonsense. And so it's happening. We got to be real about it. Us as in our 30s and 40s, we got to be the people that these kids can lean on and trust and guide them through, because we got a generation of kids right now that are going through some real stuff.
Yes, for real. And thank you for sharing that, Ryan, because that's all true, man. And I hope it get better, and we mentors without, being mentors. These kids look up to us. So man, you just continue to have good character, right? Right, you always had good character, man. I love that and appreciate you for that, man. People always judge me for the way I played on the basketball court. Man, he's mean. I'm like, dude, that's just on the court. I'm silly off the court. But man, I appreciate you so much, bro. Coming to the Barcode Podcast 414, bro. Taking us down your journey, bro, means a lot. Yeah, Ryan, you already know we gonna stay in contact, man. And I want your Lawrence people to see this, man, and see if they're gonna get on your tail, man. Hopefully we touched everything too, Ra. Come on, man.
Oh, we definitely did, man. And I appreciate you, Cuba. I mean, this podcast is exactly what it should be, right? Like it's a fun journey for people. Like for me, like I get to see all these dudes that I used to hoop with or idolize hooping. But you see, you're right. The exact like their journey through not just like hooping, but their career, right? And like their life and the shit they go through is real. Basketball ends for everybody, no matter who you are. And so life comes at you quick. It's cool to see all these people progressing in life and doing amazing things. So I appreciate you putting it out there so we can see it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, man. And don't forget, y'all, last thing, set the bar and stick to the code. Me and my boy Ryan Kroeger is our best shooter in 2005.